Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a great day. Kip here, your happy reformer, and it is day 13 of our Advent series as we continue to look at the role of the incarnation. And just kind of summing up a little bit from yesterday, again, the incarnation is what separates, quote, Christianity from all the other world religions, all the other pseudo spiritual gurus, even a lot of the self help pastors, all this kind of stuff, because this is where we divide the line between that Jesus is God fully and man fully. Those are critical imperatives. God is not, Jesus is not born from God. Jesus is not some man that just achieved this Christ consciousness. No, Jesus is God. And that is critical. And the incarnation shows us that Jesus, being fully God, already God, his existence predating his birth in human form, now has immersed himself fully human into humanity's delusion so that he could redeem them. That is the point of the incarnation. Now, I'll read you a quote here. Madeleine L'Engle: there is nothing so secular that it cannot be sacred, and that is one of the deepest messages of the incarnation. And I want to reread real quickly here out of the Passion Translation what we read yesterday and talked about. I just want to read it again. 1 John 1:1. This is the Passion Translation. We saw him with our very own eyes. We gazed upon him and heard him speak. Our hands actually touched him, the one who was from the beginning, the living expression of God. The life giver was made visible, and we have seen him. We testify to this truth. The eternal life giver lived face to face with the Father, and now has dawned upon us. C.S. Lewis says, lying at your feet is your dog. Imagine for the moment that your dog and every dog is in deep distress. Some of us love dogs very much. If it would help all the dogs in the world to become like men, would you be willing to become a dog? Would you put down your human nature, leave your loved ones, your job, hobbies, your art and literature and music, and choose instead of the intimate communion with your beloved, the poor substitute of looking into the beloved's face and wagging your tail, unable to smile or speak? Christ, by becoming man, limited the thing which to him was the most precious thing in the world, his unhampered, unhindered communion with the Father. And then, of course, St. Athanasius said, I've quoted this before, he became what we are that he might make us what he is. C.S. Lewis, taking from that same thing, says, the Son of God became a man to enable men to become the sons of God. You see, the incarnation is all about Jesus reconciling us back to the Father, making us like him with unbroken fellowship and union within the Godhead. Now, I want to read one more. This is from Thomas F. Torrance, his book on the incarnation. Christian faith starts with the knowledge of God in Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is one person whose word is wholly involved in his act and whose act is wholly involved in his person. We cannot therefore think of his person apart from his atoning work, or of his atoning work in abstraction from his person. Man, that's so good. I love that. Therefore, even when we begin with his incarnation and with his birth at Bethlehem, we are beginning right away with the atonement. For his birth, as the beginning of his incarnate person, is one end of the atoning work, with the resurrection and ascension as the other end. We are concerned with the Christ who is the Word, who utters the Word, and whose Word is identical with his saving work. Revelation and atonement are thus inseparable. Christ revealing and Christ reconciling. For the speaking of the Word and the working out of the atoning deed are done within the one person of Christ and partake of the unity of his deity and humanity in that one person. Every once in a while, we'll repeat ourselves, maybe a lot. Point is, we'll keep going. We'll get new stuff. We're going to keep continuing. But it is imperative. We're just going to keep drilling that the incarnation is one end, incarnation and the atonement, the pinnacle moment of history. Adam's fall is not the pinnacle moment. The incarnation is the pinnacle moment. Then carried through with the life, then the death, then the resurrection, and then the ascension through the atonement. That's the pinnacle moment that makes way for everything else. Christology, a Christological view through the entirety of scriptures, through the entirety of history, is also imperative, because when we look at it from any other perspective outside of a Christ lens, we're missing the bigger picture. Because he became what we were so that we could become what he is. That's my morning meditation, day 13. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.